Hello everybody, I'm Grant Boxleitner. Welcome to Local Doctors on Call. Our topic today is heart health, and I'm joined by Dr. Stephen Wrench and Dr. David Miller. Welcome to the show, gentlemen, and let's start by having you each tell us a little bit about your background and where you work.
Well, I'm the Dean of Clinical Sciences at East West College of Natural Medicine in Sarasota, Florida. And I oversee our clinic, our professional and student clinics on campus, as well as teach a number of courses there.
And your background in this goes back quite a ways.
Well, I was a young pup in Vietnam. I was 20 years old, and my unit patrolled a small hamlet called Cholon. It was the Chinese district just northeast of Saigon. And in 1971, I saw acupuncture being given to the locals in that village by Chinese missionary physicians. And so I asked through an interpreter, what am I seeing and what are they doing? And so it was interesting, but it kind of had a seed planted then, and it would culminate many years later in the pursuit of that medicine.
All right, and you, Dr. Miller?
I didn't know that about him. That's really cool. He's my boss. I also work at the East West College.
Okay.
I've been doing acupuncture about 15 years. I was teaching at Pacific College about 7 years. That's in New York. And then I've been an East West adjunct professor for about a year and a half. And I've been practicing in Florida for 2 years.
All right, well, let's dive right into this. What is Tai Chi for folks who may not know?
You want me to grab this?
Yeah, start out. Yeah, sure.
All right. Tai Chi is really a centuries-old form of rhythmic exercise, what we would say healthful exercise.
Okay.
And it's very slow motion. When you've probably seen it, most people have at least seen it at some point.
Using your body weight, or are you in a gym somewhere?
No, you can do it. You can do Tai Chi anywhere. There's really all you need is proper instruction, loose, comfortable clothing, and a space in which to move around. But it's a healthful form of exercise. It's very slow movements, very circular movements that one connects to the other. It's beautiful to watch. You can't do Tai Chi and be uptight. You can't do it.
You've got to stay relaxed. Okay, Dr. Miller, you care to add anything?
Well, when I first encountered Tai Chi, I read a book called The Tao of Tai Chi Chuan by a Chinese guy, Zhou Chenghua. I was 10. And I didn't know anything of what I was reading.
Right.
But they had a little history section, and it talked about all of the powers that Tai Chi martial art masters had. Like they could take an arrow and throw it into a tree.
Right.
Or grab two birds and then they can't take off from their hands, or you punch them and they laugh.
Yeah, interesting
things like
stuff,
that.
and it kind of goes to our next question. Where did this come from?
So that's the origin of Tai Chi has a little obscurity, but the father of it is Zhang Sanfeng. He lived in April 9, 1257, and even today they party in China, April 9 every year.
Every year.
Tai Chi, yeah,
That's coming up.
like Mardi Gras, and they have a big party. So he started it. He didn't start Tai Chi till he was 67.
Man.
He created it.
Right.
And then the Emperor of China really wanted him on his team, so he built him a temple.
Oh.
And it's in the Wudang Mountains. And that's in Hunan province. Built him a huge temple and moved him in there, and
Right.
then he taught it there until he died. He said that he lived 200 years.
So what are the benefits? I know you got into a little bit of that, of Tai Chi.
Well, studies have shown, and now you can. A lot of research has gone into Tai Chi, and as of late, but the Chinese have always known this. But as of late in this country, we now know, and Mayo Clinic's done studies, UCLA Medical's done studies, and so on, that Tai Chi is very helpful. It improves balance, and we'll talk about that in a moment.
Okay.
Flexibility, lowers blood pressure, lowers stress levels, lowers stress hormone levels.
So a lot of health benefits
Improve
associated
circulation.
with exercise.
Absolutely.
Okay. What is Qi then?
Well, depending on what you read, there are a lot of definitions of that. We use the term energy, and I'll have Dr. Miller expound on this further. It really doesn't mean energy, but we call it like a motivating force. In Western science, it's given it really isn't recognized, although they recognize what's called EMF, electromotive force. And that is the force that animates all living things. Let's you talk a little bit more about that, the definition and so on.
Well, I think that to have common ground, we can just look at the smallest working unit of the body will be a cell.
Okay.
Cells breathe, cells excrete, they take in nutrients, they put out waste. And in the mitochondria, they're developing proteins and making energy.
Right.
So what's that called? So let's just call that qi. The cells that get together and move stuff in and out of your body is part of a process. So it's a functional aspect of the body that provides life. So it brings me to a gift that I brought to you today. And I have a little present for you.
Present, okay.
Yep, I made it this morning.
All right.
One of his many talents, I might mention.
Look at this.
And this is qi. I'll just hang these right here. This is the character.
So this is the symbol, if you
I
will.
made this myself with a Q and an I, if you see that. It's got the Chinese character for qi on there.
Okay.
And we wanted to give that to you.
All
That's a
right.
designer
Yeah.
hanger, too, I noticed. That you
Absolutely. Well,
I
put this
gave it a
aside for
shot.
right now, but
So it's a souvenir for our conversation about qi.
yeah. And keeping in this conversation, qigong. What exactly is that?
So I would call that as the undistracted attention to those processes that are happening in your body. So it could be from your lung, your heart. If you're doing qigong for disease, then you want to pay attention. So is your lung messed up from smoking or emphysema? Then you want to clean that out. And
Right.
there are visualizations, postures, different breathing techniques that you do to enhance it. And so it's just a supplement to your own health and what's already going on that you're then paying really undistracted attention to.
And do we know where, and you were going to say something, Dr. Wrench?
Just going to say this, that when we talked in our last show together, we talked about how we communicate with the body.
Yes.
And so sometimes when we start talking about Tai Chi and Qigong, with people that aren't in the know or they're not familiar with it, they get this look on their face like you're from another world.
Yeah, what is
so,
this?
But really, if you think ways we communicate with the body, and there are many, but how you breathe, what your thought processes are, and how you move. And we might talk about the 5 postures and standings and all that, sitting.
Well, when you're looking for a good Tai Chi teacher, you got to have a couple of elements that separate them. And there's a historical reason why people today think that Tai Chi's for dancing or for health or moving slow.
Sure.
And this goes back, there are 3 types of Tai Chi Chuan: Yang style, Wu style, Chun style. And there are others, but those are the big 3. And Yang Lu Chen was known as the indomitable Yang. That
Okay.
no one could beat him ever. And he had, his teacher was the Chun. And Chun style Tai Chi came before Yang. I'll just take a second to explain that.
No,
And
please.
So Yang was already a good martial artist. We're talking 1800s, right?
Right.
So Qin Dynasty. And you got, his teacher noticed he had some skill. And so he passed him over to Chen. And he said, maybe you can learn from this guy, but he was rejected because he didn't have the same last name. So usually they will keep it in the family.
Right.
So Yang would one day snuck in and looked into the barn and saw them all practicing, and he said, oh yeah, that's what I want. So he practiced that. And then he got really good and could beat the students of Chen, so that he was accepted as a student. Then he went on to form his own style, Yang style. So then he got so good that the Emperor of China said, you have to teach our royal court Tai Chi. And he didn't want to.
Didn't want to.
You know, so he didn't want to turn over the Yang style to the court. So he only taught him the basic movements without the Qigong inside. So that's known as the paper style of Tai Chi.
That's
And
kind of
so-
like, excuse me, if
yeah,
I may,
yeah.
that's kind of like the eggshell without the yolk.
Ah,
Yeah.
Right?
so
it's
the whole-
the technique without the principle.
right, and you have to have both. I think you'd say.
Absolutely, if you're going to get lasting, benefit.
That's how you know you have a good Tai Chi, is that it's good for, it's a martial art. And it's very, very powerful martial art, but it's also great for health and to restore your body function. But that's just one half.
Is this something that you can do throughout your life, or does it take a long time to get good at, if you will? Or
Well,
Both.
we
Both.
like anything, to be good at something, you have to repeat it over and over. So repetition, certainly. In the beginning, we tell our students, don't worry. Just follow along and learn the movements to the best of your ability, and then, you'll reap the benefits of it
absolutely.
after time.
Yeah.
And do both of you practice?
Absolutely.
And how often do you have to do something like this?
Well, you teach it, so you're you're all over it.
I'm a Tai Chi practitioner.
Okay.
He's a sensei. So I'm not on his level, but I do Tai Chi every day. Qigong, I teach those classes. I've been beaten up by some really good Tai Chi guys, and they have some really powerful skills. And So I would say if you want to be a Tai Chi martial artist, you're looking at 1 to 2 hours of practice a day and twice on Sunday.
All right, and don't go away because there are more local doctors on call right after this.
Ever dream of helping people? At East West College of Natural Medicine, our massage therapy program could help you achieve your dreams. Our program combines the theory and clinical application of various types of massage treatments and modalities. You could discover a path to providing pain relief, help increase mobility, and share relaxation. Let us help you realize your dream. Call 941-355-9080 today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Wrench, Dean of Clinical Sciences at East West College of Natural Medicine in Sarasota. Our approach to wellness using Oriental and Western medicine is often referred to as complementary, alternative, integrative, or even holistic medicine. We like to think of it as simply medicine. Call East West College of Natural Medicine today to schedule your consultation or to learn more about our program of Oriental medicine.
Welcome back. I'm Grant Boxleitner with Dr. Wrench and Dr. Miller, and we're talking about Qi, Tai Chi, as well as Qigong. And you were mentioning earlier how long this takes. We can elaborate on that.
Well, I think Dr. Miller was referring to the Qigong, the internal energy practices more. But just for the novice who isn't getting enough exercise, you recall last time we spoke, we talked about rest, exercise, nutrition, and preventative medicine.
Right.
Well, most forms of exercise, when we participate, and again, I'll refer to our last program, we talked about people are all on the CrossFit craze, and it's a great thing, and P90X, and there's this thing, Body Beast. People are trying to be...
to all that.
Everybody's very fitness-minded today, and that's great. But most of what we call external forms of exercise are very draining, and they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
But in the end, we tax our body, we overload the body, and for the purpose to tear it down to build it back up. Tai Chi doesn't quite work that way, nor does Qigong. So it's more of what we call an internal approach, and it's more tonifying.
Okay.
And so I'll have Dr. Miller pick it up and run with it on that one, if you may.
Oh, if you're doing Tai Chi or Qigong for health, you have what I said before about 5 basic ways. Good Tai Chi or Qigong all has a moving or walking practice, has a standing practice, a sitting practice, a lying down practice, and even a sleeping practice.
Is it all about balance too? Do you get better balance as you go through this regimen?
Well, this is interesting in a sad sort of way, Grant. In this country, we talked about the $390 billion annual expense in medical care.
Right.
But 58 billion of that number are spent on falls. 700,000 falls in this country a year by seniors. 250,000 result in broken hips, and almost an equal number in TBI or traumatic brain injuries. The regular practice of Tai Chi can improve balance among anyone, but especially senior citizens who really need it more, by up to 50%.
So this is something that you would recommend seniors get into. It's never too old, or you're never too old, and it's never too late, I guess, then, to get into one of these practices.
It's very easy. There are courses all over the place. There are classes taking place all over designed specifically for seniors. But an improvement, as we said, lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, lower stress levels, and so on. Improved flexibility and balance. What's not to like?
Yeah. So what is the difference between these two?
Well, they go together. Tai Chi is the moving practice where you step, practice balance, practice coordination, and you might use it as a martial art, but normally it's for your health and to apply the techniques that you would learn.
Okay.
Qigong is more the breathing and energetic function behind it that gives it life. So you would do Qigong's typically done standing or sitting. So you're not moving around too much in Qigong.
So do you do either or do you do both in some way as you get more advanced?
Most classes that taught by a qualified trainer would involve both.
Okay.
Although, as we talked about the paper aspect of Tai Chi for health purposes, you probably don't get quite the same benefit from that one. But you are working on balance. You are at least moving.
Right.
You know, the important thing is, as they used to say on one of the ads, do anything but do it. You know,
Yeah.
so get up out of the chair,
Move.
get off your you know what, and start moving.
Yeah, indeed. Now, is this something where you work up a big sweat or not necessarily?
Well, again, I'll send that one to you.
If you're doing it for health purposes, you don't want to work up a big sweat. You get a little sheen on your forehead.
Okay.
Your main purpose is to get that vitality moving everywhere.
Breathing.
And that's why it's done really slow.
Okay.
Very slowly, so that energy can move to your finger, to your toe, and you don't hurt yourself.
All right. Now, these exercises, can anybody do them? Who should be doing these?
Well, first of all, you have to be motivated to do anything. So anybody that's not getting exercise or is worried about exercise being too strenuous for them, post-operative or something like this, people that have health issues.
Maybe you're in
that's
physical
why,
therapy or something.
Yeah, but that's why Dr. Miller said almost anyone
Yeah.
can do Tai Chi and Qigong. They just have to have the desire to do it.
No matter what
And
their physical abilities are.
Yeah, and I'd like to also clarify kind of why we're here talking about this.
Yeah.
And so the idea is at the college, one of the first few courses students take is to understand the concept of our chi, our energy, our healing energy, our animating energy, because they're dealing in that with Oriental medicine all day long
Right.
in their clinic and in their courses. So that's why it's a requirement that all of them have to complete 3 semesters with that, so they have an idea and a basic understanding of it.
Yeah. And as far as these exercises, what are they good for?
There's stories of guys that I know that have been in a wheelchair, like B.K. Francis, famous Tai Chi guy in California.
Okay.
He was in a wheelchair, broke his back, couldn't move, only his hand and his neck. And he used Tai Chi. Now, he didn't have a severed spinal cord,
Right.
but he worked his way back from nearly being paralyzed for life.
And he credits Tai Chi as
absolutely, he
getting him
does.
well on the way to better
Yep.
health.
And Zhou Chenghua, also stomach cancer, given a death sentence at 41. He did Tai Chi starting at 41, cured himself of the cancer. I'm not promising that for anyone who does
Right.
that. But I could give you case after case.
But there
of
are some
people.
anecdotal things
Me
that are
personally,
pretty remarkable.
I healed myself as well from a cancer with Qigong.
All right, and we're talking about some medical aspects of this now. Are there any medical studies to support the practice of these, that they do have health benefits in addition to
sir.
just becoming better physically fit?
Can I mention the heart one? And then
Absolutely.
you, so there's a guy, Dr. Yang. He has a group called Research-Based Tai Chi. I
Okay.
got to study with him at Kripalu in Massachusetts a while back. That's what he does. He studies Tai Chi as an effect. And what they found, and there's a Harvard medical study too that agree that post-cardiac surgery, people who've had a heart attack and had any type of cardiac surgery, 40% faster recovery with Tai Chi. And that is across the board. So you had
So
a
it's
study.
not the cardio you hear that the hearts become better with the cardio endurance and pumping faster and get your heart rate up, but in this case, better heart health.
Be
with
gentle
Tai
and
Chi.
nice to the heart
Yeah.
after it's been through all that.
Okay.
So you have a rehab period of, say, 5 to 8 weeks before you're really able to do very much after a heart surgery.
Right.
But you can do Tai Chi. That's why we have 5. You can't stand up, so you do sitting down. You can't sit. You do lying in your bed. Do whatever you can
You
do.
can do it whatever you can. Dr. Wrench, any other medical studies that we should touch on?
Just the one I said about I think if you look at medications in this country, so many of them go for are antipsychotics, heart medications, blood pressure medications, diabetic medications.
Right.
Tai Chi and Qigong regular practice has been shown clinically to make a difference in all of these areas.
So-
now, I'm
so
not going
you-
to tell you you're going to throw away your meds, and I don't go
Right.
clean out your medicine cabinet. But I say look into Tai Chi and its regular practice. Any exercise is based on 3 things: frequency, intensity, and duration. Well, the intensity of Tai Chi, it's not intense,
Yeah,
so it's something everyone can do. But you need to be frequent. You need to do it periodically, regularly. And who hasn't got 5 minutes a day that they can get a quiet space and do a little Tai Chi or
Just
Qigong?
5 minutes
At
when
least
you're starting out.
as little as 5 minutes, absolutely.
Wow, and that can have some big benefits. All right, Qigong now, and a lot of people are familiar with yoga. Is there a difference between those 2 approaches?
So yoga has its origins in Hinduism. That's a Hindu practice, and they mainly focus on chakras. And those are the energy centers. There's 7 physical chakras in the body, and they'll focus on those. Chinese medicine focuses on meridians and 3 dantians, which are energy centers in the body, one in the lower, middle, upper. they're very similar, but they're not the same.
They have
And
different approaches. I mean, they may look similar in some ways, but
the philosophy
they have a
is
different-
very different. So yoga comes from an Ayurvedic tradition of medicine, and Qigong comes from Chinese medical tradition.
Okay. All right. So we'll get into this maybe more after the break, but I want to ask you, what is Taoism?
Okay, that's the only homegrown Chinese religion, and that was Lao Tzu is known as the father of Taoism. He was in around Confucius era. Confucius actually met him,
Right.
and they talked. And Confucius said he met the first living dragon he'd ever seen. Taoism is tricky because it's so poorly understood. It may be too big of a topic to tackle, but I would just say it's the way of learning about yourself and moving through the world with virtue. And it lays heavily on the acquisition of virtue and being a good person and expressing that in your daily life.
Dr. Wrench, anything else on Taoism?
Who can improve on that? No. Well, I think we leave it right there.
All right.
Very
We will
good.
leave it right there, and we're going to leave it right here for a moment, but stay with us. There's more Local Doctors on Call straight ahead.
Ever dream of helping people? At East West College of Natural Medicine, our massage therapy program could help you achieve your dreams. Our program combines the theory and clinical application of various types of massage treatments and modalities. You could discover a path to providing pain relief, help increase mobility, and share relaxation. Let us help you realize your dream. Call 941-355-9080 today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Wrench, Dean of Clinical Sciences at East West College of Natural Medicine in Sarasota. Our approach to wellness using Oriental and Western medicine is often referred to as complementary, alternative, integrative, or even holistic medicine. We like to think of it as simply medicine. Call East West College of Natural Medicine today to schedule your consultation or to learn more about our program of Oriental medicine.
Welcome back. We're talking about heart health. I'm here with Dr. Wrench and Dr. Miller, and I want to get into a different topic now. What is the primary purpose of acupuncture?
Well, health, number one, first
Health.
and foremost. That's a tough question to answer in a short period of time, but it's the oldest form of healing that we know of on the planet. Roots traceable anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 years, depending on what you read.
People always think of needles when they think of acupuncture, but maybe they shouldn't.
Well, they needn't have a fear of needles. Properly placed, they're very, very fine. You can get several acupuncture needles inside a standard hypodermic needle, depending on the size. But basically what the needles do is think of your body as like a computer keyboard.
Right.
And if we touch a key here and touch a key here, or we bring up a specific program. So what we're doing as acupuncture physicians is communicating with what Dr. Miller referred to earlier as meridians. If you can imagine a series of little superhighways that run up and down a human body, we call this the meridian system. Located on this system are little, we'll call them triggers, or acupuncture points more specifically. I heard them years ago referred to as portals into the energy stream, and that was that may be a little heady, but the idea is that by stimulating these little points, we're pressing little computer keys,
Right.
and we're gently coercing the body to do what it already knows how to do, and that is to repair itself. And of the 100 trillion cells that you have in your body, by the way, each one has enough information within itself to fill 1,000 volumes, 600 pages each, and each cell knows what it needs for it needs to thrive, and
Right.
it also knows what it cannot process. So we communicate with the body's healing mechanism, and unless that's impaired in some way, it generally will get the message, and healing and reparation will take place.
All right, so acupuncture can kind of go hand in hand with the Tai Chi and the Qigong that we talked about. And speaking of that, let's say you want to try this discipline. How do you know that you're getting a good teacher when you walk into a class?
So your goal is you want it for health, or you want to learn it for martial arts. So those are two important things. If you're learning it for martial arts, then your teacher shouldn't be showing you the slow movements. He should be showing you, or she should be showing you the breathing techniques. There's a weapons for 'em, sticks, staff, knife, everything that you want if you're into martial arts. If you're looking at it from strictly a health point of view, then you want a teacher that's not going to push you too hard, knows your situation, and is helping you gradually improve. So like Taoist Society here in Sarasota,
Right.
they're good at helping people. My dad was injured and he went there, and they're really good at helping people take it easy and build their health. There's other people like a riverpeace.com has a Tai Chi program. Aihan Kun locally is a Sarasota Tai Chi practitioner, all quality.
Dr. Wrench, yeah, anything else?
You just want to find a good instructor, someone who has experience, and first and foremost, watch the class.
So
Listen
maybe
to the
watch, maybe
instruction.
sit out and just watch it for a
Yeah,
class
absolutely.
or two.
Yeah.
You'll learn a lot just by watching, but further you need to discuss the class and the expectations, and you also need to make them aware of any limitations you have physically.
Can you tell with how talkative or boisterous somebody is, whether they're going to be effective or not? Or is it different style, just like anything else that you're seeing in a teacher? Is every teacher different? Or?
Oh yeah, every teacher is different. And some teachers are really harsh. And they want you to go at a glacial pace, and they want to see you really put in the time and effort before they show you
Before
the
they
good stuff.
give you
Yeah.
next,
Right.
the advanced moves, if you
Right.
will.
So it would depend. Again, you just have to shop. You got to be a smart shopper. We're in the electronic age more than ever before.
Sure, you can do your research.
You can do your homework and your research. The best thing to do is to talk to someone you know who may be doing it, or to go to a class, speak to the instructor, but after the class, and I taught for many, many years and still do, but I used to say this, talk to the students. Because I can give you all kinds of data, but you'll get
Right.
the best answers from the students and find out how are you liking the class, how has it helped you,
Yeah, just-
how do you feel after you're doing it, how long have you been doing it, and
Do you recommend maybe taking this with someone else? Is there strength in numbers, if you will? I mean, if you're trying to decide if this is right for you, does it help to have a workout partner?
Well, I
if you
think it's
will?
always more fun with
Yeah,
somebody
everything's
else.
better with a friend. And
Yeah.
then when you don't feel like going, they push you to go.
Yeah,
it's a good
I
point.
think very, very important. Whether you're weight training, whether you're jogging, it's always better with another body along. So,
Right.
but and sometimes you won't make it to class. That's the beauty of it. You can still practice on your own. And again, 5 minutes in your living room, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes on your lanai.
What do the typical classes last of the ones that you've described here on the Suncoast?
I think that depends on the instructor and the style.
Yeah.
If it's martial arts, is it typically a longer class than
3
Safer
hours.
Health?
It may be as many for as little as one, and maybe as many as 3.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we are running out of time, but where can people go to get more information about this topic and others?
Well, number one, just Google it. Number two, you can reach us at the college. That's East West College of Natural Medicine in Sarasota, Florida, 941-355-9080,
Okay.
or the website.
Yeah. You can call
Yeah.
either one of us personally. We'll help you find somebody.
And the website's right there on the screen. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And that does it for this edition of Local Doctors on Call.